Hello, everyone. Today, I have an amazing story for you. It's not just for your listening practice, but also to inspire you. Today, I want to share a story that might change the way you look at failure. It's a story about patience, hard work, and believing in yourself when no one else does. It's the story of a man who failed more than 1,000 times. But in the end, he changed the world. His name was Thomas Edison. Have you ever failed at something you really wanted to do? Have you ever tried again and again, but nothing worked? Maybe people laughed at you. Maybe they said, "You can't do it." Well, Thomas Edison heard those words many times, but he never stopped trying. And that's what makes his story so powerful. Thomas Edison was born in 1847 in Ohio, USA. He was the youngest of 7 children. From the time he was a little boy, he was full of questions. He always wanted to know why. Why is the sky blue? Why does fire burn? Why do things move? He didn't just accept answers. He wanted to see, to test, and to understand. He loved to experiment, even if it got him into trouble. At school, his teachers didn't like that. They thought he was slow. He didn't sit quietly. He didn't memorize things like other children. He wanted to touch, to build, to discover. One day, his teacher told his mother, "Your son is too slow. He can't learn anything. There's no hope for him." His mother didn't believe that. She took Thomas home and said, "Don't listen to them. You're not slow, Thomas. You just learn differently." Those words stayed with him forever. That one moment changed his life. Because one person, his mother, believed in him. At home, Thomas began reading everything he could find. Books about science, machines, electricity. He turned their small basement into his first laboratory. He mixed chemicals in bottles. He tested wires, magnets, and strange liquids. Sometimes he created small explosions. Sometimes he filled the house with smoke. His mother would shout, "Thomas, what are you doing down there?" And he would answer, "I'm learning, Mother. I'm learning." When he was 12 years old, he started selling newspapers and snacks on a train. He used the little money he earned to buy tools and materials for his experiments. He was always curious, always learning. Even when he was working, he carried books with him. He didn't know it yet, but those long hours of reading and experimenting were building the foundation of one of the greatest minds in history. As he grew older, he worked in telegraph companies. He learned about sound, wires, and messages. But he was not the perfect employee. One day, he spilled acid on his boss's desk and destroyed some equipment. He was fired immediately. It wasn't the first time. He failed again and again. But each time, he learned something new. Thomas Edison had a very special way of looking at failure. He didn't see it as the end. He saw it as information. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." Think about that for a second. 10,000 mistakes. 10,000 disappointments. But he didn't stop, because he believed that every failure was one step closer to success. In 1877, he invented the phonograph, the first machine that could record and play sound. When people heard his voice come out of a machine for the first time, they couldn't believe it. It was like magic. But for Edison, it was only the beginning. He wanted to do something even bigger, something that could change people's lives forever. He wanted to bring light to the world. At that time, people used candles and oil lamps. They were expensive, dangerous, and didn't last long. Edison dreamed of a safe, long-lasting electric light. So he started experimenting. He and his team worked day and night, testing materials, trying hundreds and then thousands of filaments. Bamboo, cotton, horse's hair, metal wires. Each time they thought they had the answer, the bulb burned out too quickly. Some of his workers began to lose hope. "Mr. Edison," one said, "we've failed more than 1,000 times." "Maybe it's impossible," Edison smiled. He said, "Impossible? No, my friend. We've just learned 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. That's the kind of mindset that changes the world." He didn't focus on the failure. He focused on the lesson. Then one day, after years of testing, they found the right material, carbonized bamboo. Edison placed it carefully inside the bulb, connected the wires, and watched. The light stayed on. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. It didn't go out. It kept shining. For the first time, the world saw the power of the electric light bulb. News spread everywhere. People called him a genius. But Edison said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." He meant that success is not about being lucky or smart. It's about hard work. It's about not giving up. After the light bulb, Edison continued to invent. He worked on motion picture cameras, batteries, and sound systems. He opened laboratories and built companies. He hired hundreds of inventors and workers. He never stopped dreaming. By the end of his life, he held more than 1,000 patents. 1,000 inventions that changed how people lived, worked, and communicated. But behind all that success, there was a man who had been called too dumb. A man who had failed thousands of times. A man who chose not to quit. That's what made Thomas Edison truly great. Not his intelligence, but his determination. You see, life will test you. It will make you fall. Sometimes it will make you cry. But those moments don't define you. What defines you is how you rise again. Edison once said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time." So, the next time you feel like giving up, remember that. Try just one more time. Imagine if Edison had given up after his first 100 failures, or his first 500, or even after 999. We might still be living in the dark, literally. But he didn't stop. He kept going because deep down he believed that light was possible. And he was right. So today, whenever you turn on a light, remember the boy who never gave up. The boy whose teacher said he was too slow. The boy who spilled acid on his boss's desk. The boy who failed over and over again, but kept believing. That boy became one of the greatest inventors in history. That boy was Thomas Edison. And maybe, just maybe, you have that same power inside you. Maybe you're one step away from your own light bulb moment. Don't give up now. Keep trying. Keep believing. Keep learning. Because one day, you'll look back and realize every failure was a step toward success. Thank you for listening. I hope this story reminded you that failure is not the end. It's the beginning of growth. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to follow the channel for more inspiring English stories like this one. Keep learning. Keep shining. And remember, never give up.